Johannesburg in June of 2020. With his camera, photographer Jabulani Dlamini captures what COVID-19 has meant for the people in his township. In March, the South African government reacted to the looming pandemic with a stringent lockdown that had dramatic consequences for much of the population.
Hardly anyone here in Soweto has a steady job or a regular income. The lockdown restrictions have since been eased, despite the surge in corona infections.
Photography freezes time. I want to freeze that experience. I want people one day, even 20 years later, to get the feeling of how the people of Phiri or in Soweto, they were living their experiences during COVID-19.
When he began his project, Jabulani didn't have a work permit. What he could do was drive his mother to work. He shot his photos through the car window so the soldiers on patrol couldn't see him. And he's continued using this procedure even though social distancing isn't suited to usual ways of working or the harsh realities of life in the townships.
These trash collectors come from Lesotho, but now none of them can return home to their families.
Normally, Jabulani spends a lot of time with the people he photographs. But due to corona, that's not possible. Jabulani Dlamini is a successful photographer, but he's still firmly rooted in his township. The people here know and trust him.
I started this project exactly on the day of the lockdown, and I was more interested in the conversation. And one of the common problems that I've realized that a lot of people don't have food, and some of them would ask me to buy them a loaf of bread, and that made me to question my role as a photographer. And hence I decided to do an online exhibition, and with money that I'll make from the sales, I will definitely buy food for the people that I've worked with and other people who are needy from this community.
Jabulani is paying a visit to his mother. His siblings and their families live here too, in just 2 rooms. Maintaining a safe distance or quarantining is impossible in housing estates like this, which date from the apartheid era.
You get to realize that we're still living under, the lot of problems that were created by apartheid, and they haven't changed even today. It's 25 years later, they haven't changed.
They're making preparations for the online charity auction.
These two. And also this one captures the mood of the last day or two, how cold it is, and it reflects the oppressiveness of of what people are feeling almost. This is a nice crop, but let's see.
Jabulani Dlamini's photo series, The Everyday Waiting, is being shown at the London branch of the Goodman Gallery.
A lot of people, in a way, contributed to the person who I am today. And that assisted me to pursue my career in photography. So my idea of photography has always been helping, especially the community that I come from. And this time gave me that opportunity to come back and to give back.
We've already used up our savings, and I can't go back home. Other family members couldn't come to attend the funeral, which is unusual in our culture. Jabulani Dlamini is represented by the renowned Goodman Gallery. But even South Africa's normally booming art scene has been impacted by the corona crisis. No art fairs are being held, no exhibitions either, so there are no visitors. Even producing art is harder.
It has affected movement, it has affected how artists create, because some artists cannot have access to their studios. Nothing is coming inside the country, so getting material, it's difficult.
So showing solidarity is vital. Galleries are supporting their artists, who are in turn donating works to benefit auctions. The art scene is helping itself.
Government, you have to wait for policies, and in these times we have to move fast in order to make sure that our South African art industry survives.
Jabulani Dlamini dreamed of flying to London for the opening of his show there. Instead, he's driving to an NGO in Soweto to distribute food to needy children. Schools here were closed for almost 3 months, so children didn't receive any school meals. Now, some pupils have returned to school. For many youngsters whose parents now have no work, this is often their only meal of the day.
I don't know if the government will come. So what happened? We've been promising people that you'll deliver food, and here in Piri, I don't know in other places, here in Piri, a lot of them, they said they haven't received any food parcels yet. And so, I mean, as an artist, I feel that we need to not wait for government. We need to initiate. We need to take initiative and, give back.
Jabulani donated his time long before the pandemic. Since 2016, he's been giving photography classes to young people as part of a project to combat high youth unemployment. Timbinkosi Chachwayo is one of his students. Now he too hopes to capture the effect of COVID-19 on his environment. Timbinkosi's family runs a tavern. Due to South Africa's alcohol ban, it must stay shut. Yet people still need somewhere to talk. For instance, about violence against women, which has increased during the lockdown.
It's always COVID. Right?
The tavern is also kind of a space of emotional exchanges. Some people come here to really put down some things.
South Africa has more COVID cases than any other African country. People here live in fear of contracting coronavirus and of the catastrophic economic aftermath. The photo project helps everyone involved to express these feelings.
So I think the work itself is an isolation. Because from the get-go, I did not really focus on the patterns, but I focused on them not being here. Sure.
So my role is to encourage, because they've got their own life experiences, and that shapes how they see things. So my role is to create that platform.
Via downtown Johannesburg, he makes the 20-kilometer trip back to Soweto. Back to where his career began, as a street photographer who documented important events on his neighbor's behalf.
For me, photography is a vehicle of change. It can influence change. We use photography as a starting point. We look at these photographs and we start from there. We're having 1, 2, 3 problems. Sanitation, schools, housing, just to mention few. We have a lot of problems. I believe that we need to start talking about this.
Jabulani Dlamini views his involvement as Ubuntu, South Africa's philosophy of showing humanity towards others.
One of the ways to show Ubuntu is giving back to the community that you're working with. The first one is to collaborate and also to give back in terms of giving back the prints, because of the people that we're working with, they need to be collectors of the work that you've created.
Corona.